The alarm clock blares its unwelcome song, and instead of a gentle awakening, a wave of dread washes over you. The day hasn't even begun, yet your mind is already racing through to-do lists, potential failures, and the gnawing sense that you're simply not ready for what lies ahead. This feeling, this heavy cloak of morning anxiety, is more common than we often admit. It's the silent battle fought before the sun fully rises, a struggle that can set the tone for an entire day. You're not alone in this. Many of us experience that familiar tightening in the chest, the restless thoughts that cling like shadows, and the overwhelming urge to pull the covers back over our heads and escape the impending demands of the world. But what if there was another way? What if, instead of succumbing to this familiar pattern of anxiety, you could greet the dawn with a sense of calm anticipation, a feeling of grounded strength, and a clear vision of what you want to achieve? Imagine transforming that initial wave of dread into a surge of empowerment, turning those restless thoughts into focused intentions, and replacing the urge to hide with an eagerness to embrace the day's possibilities. This isn't about ignoring the challenges that lie ahead. It's about approaching them from a place of inner peace and unwavering resolve. This guided meditation is designed to be your sanctuary in those early morning hours, a gentle bridge between sleep and wakefulness. It's a space where you can acknowledge your anxieties without letting them consume you, a place where you can cultivate a sense of inner resilience and tap into your inherent capacity for strength. We'll use the imagery of the sunrise, the sounds of nature, and the power of visualization to gently guide you from a state of apprehension to one of mindful awareness. Think of it as a daily reset, a chance to recalibrate your mind and body before the demands of the day take hold. It's an opportunity to connect with your inner self, to identify your goals and aspirations, and to arm yourself with the emotional and mental fortitude needed to navigate whatever challenges may arise. This isn't a quick fix or a magical solution, but rather a consistent practice, a daily ritual that can gradually transform your relationship with the morning and, ultimately, with your life. We'll explore how to harness the power of intention, how to visualize your desired outcomes, and how to cultivate a sense of self-compassion that allows you to approach each day with kindness and understanding. We'll delve into the art of transforming negative thought patterns into positive affirmations, and how to use the breath as an anchor to ground you in the present moment. This is an invitation to step into your day with a renewed sense of purpose, a quiet confidence, and a deep knowing that you are capable of navigating whatever comes your way. So let's begin to gently shift that morning anxiety into eager anticipation, one breath, one intention, one sunrise at a time. Delving deeper into the psychology behind this transformation, we find that morning anxiety often stems from a phenomenon known as anticipatory anxiety. This isn't merely worrying about what might happen. It's a projection of future events colored by past experiences and ingrained beliefs about our capabilities. Think of it as your mind running a simulation, often based on worst-case scenarios, triggering the same physiological responses: increased heart rate, shallow breathing, muscle tension, as if the event were actually occurring in the present. The problem is, this simulation is often inaccurate and disproportionate, amplifying fears and anxieties far beyond what's warranted. A significant contributor to this anticipatory anxiety is the activation of the amygdala, the brain's emotional center, which is particularly sensitive to perceived threats. When we wake up feeling overwhelmed, it's often because the amygdala has already been triggered by subconscious worries, setting off a cascade of stress hormones that flood our system. This can create a self-fulfilling prophecy, where the initial anxiety leads to impaired focus, decreased productivity, and ultimately, the very outcomes we feared. On the other hand, visualization, the cornerstone of our meditation, taps into a different neural pathway. By consciously creating positive mental images of success, resilience, and inner peace, we activate the prefrontal cortex, the brain's planning and decision-making center. This process helps to override the amygdala's fear-based response, shifting our focus from potential threats to potential opportunities. Furthermore, visualizing positive outcomes releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and motivation, which can counteract the negative effects of stress hormones and create a more optimistic and empowered state of mind. But the benefits extend beyond mere neurological shifts. Consider the power of framing. Oftentimes, the events causing anxiety are unavoidable: a difficult presentation at work, a challenging conversation with a family member, or a looming deadline. However, how we perceive these events dramatically alters our response. A looming deadline can be viewed as an insurmountable obstacle, triggering panic and procrastination. Conversely, it can be seen as an opportunity to demonstrate competence and resourcefulness, fostering a sense of purpose and accomplishment. Now, consider how this applies when you face a particularly anxiety-inducing task. Instead of immediately focusing on the potential for failure, try to reframe it as a chance to learn and grow. Visualize yourself successfully navigating the challenge, drawing on your strengths and resilience. This doesn't mean ignoring the potential difficulties, but rather approaching them with a mindset of proactive problem-solving and self-belief. By intentionally shifting your perspective, you can transform a source of anxiety into a catalyst for personal development. This reframing, combined with the calming effects of meditation, can be a powerful tool for reclaiming your mornings and shaping your days. Reflecting on this journey so far, consider the subtle alchemy at play. It's akin to transforming lead into gold, not through brute force, but through a delicate and intentional process. We've explored how the initial weight of morning anxiety, that seemingly immutable burden, can be gradually transmuted into something far more valuable. A sense of poised readiness, a quiet inner strength, and a clear vision of purpose. It's not about eradicating the lead entirely, pretending it doesn't exist, but rather understanding its composition, its inherent properties, and how it can be skillfully alchemized into something new. The convergence of these insights reveals a powerful truth. The way we begin our day profoundly shapes the landscape of our experiences. It's like the first domino in a chain reaction, setting in motion a series of events that can either amplify our anxieties or empower our actions. The choice, subtly but undeniably, rests with us. We hold the capacity to interrupt the default programming of fear and apprehension, to consciously rewrite the script of our mornings, and, by extension, the narrative of our lives. Drawing these strands together, we see the emergence of a personalized ritual, a sanctuary built not of bricks and mortar, but of mindful breaths, intentional visualizations, and unwavering self-compassion. It's a space where we can safely acknowledge our vulnerabilities, without allowing them to define us, a place where we can cultivate a sense of groundedness amidst the swirling currents of uncertainty. This isn't a passive retreat from the world's challenges, but rather an active preparation for them, a deliberate act of self-care that equips us to navigate the day with greater resilience and clarity. In light of these insights, the path forward becomes clearer. It's a path of consistent practice, of gentle self-exploration, and of unwavering commitment to nurturing our inner well-being. It's about embracing the power of small beginnings, of recognizing that even 5 minutes of mindful intention can have a profound ripple effect on our entire day. It's about cultivating a sense of curiosity and openness, allowing ourselves to experiment with different techniques and approaches, until we discover what truly resonates with our individual needs and preferences. As we pivot towards the final reflection, consider the cumulative effect of these practices. It's like tending a garden, patiently nurturing the seeds of intention, weeding out the negative thoughts, and providing the nourishment needed for growth. Over time, the garden flourishes, yielding a harvest of inner peace, unwavering confidence, and a deep sense of purpose. And just as a garden requires ongoing care and attention, so too does our inner landscape. The journey is not a destination, but a continuous process of self-discovery and refinement. Now, armed with understanding and a toolbox of techniques, let's turn our attention to the practical application of these insights. Transforming morning anxiety into eager anticipation isn't a passive process. It requires active engagement and a willingness to experiment. Start by creating a dedicated space for your morning meditation, a sanctuary free from distractions where you can fully immerse yourself in the practice. This could be a quiet corner of your bedroom, a sunlit spot on your balcony, or even a cozy chair in your living room. The key is to choose a location that evokes feelings of peace and tranquility. Next, establish a consistent routine. Consistency is paramount when it comes to building new habits. Aim to meditate at the same time each morning, even on weekends, to reinforce the neural pathways associated with this practice. Start with just 5 minutes and gradually increase the duration as you become more comfortable. Remember, the goal is not to force yourself into a state of blissful serenity, but rather to create a space where you can gently observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Experiment with different visualization techniques. Some people find it helpful to visualize themselves successfully navigating a specific challenge they anticipate facing during the day. Others prefer to focus on broader goals and aspirations, visualizing themselves living a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. There's no right or wrong way to visualize. The key is to find what resonates most deeply with you. In addition to visualization, incorporate other coping mechanisms into your morning routine. Consider practicing gentle stretching or yoga to release physical tension, listening to calming music to soothe your mind, or journaling to process your thoughts and emotions. These practices can help to further reduce anxiety and create a sense of groundedness. And perhaps most importantly, cultivate self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when you experience setbacks or challenges. Recognize that anxiety is a normal human emotion, and that it's okay to have days when you struggle. Instead of beating yourself up for feeling anxious, offer yourself the same compassion and understanding that you would offer a friend in need. Remember, this is a journey, not a destination. There will be days when you feel like you're making progress, and there will be days when you feel like you're taking steps backward. The key is to remain patient, persistent, and committed to nurturing your inner well-being. With consistent practice and unwavering self-compassion, you can transform morning anxiety into eager anticipation and create a life filled with purpose, joy, and fulfillment. The true practice begins now, not in some distant future, but in this very moment, with the next breath you take.